Mia Garcia sat on the edge of her bed, frustration weighing heavy on her chest. The room, decorated with posters of her country music idols, had always felt like home, but tonight it felt suffocating. Crumpled papers littered the floor, each one a failed attempt to capture the lyrics that danced in her mind. Outside, the familiar sounds of her small Texas neighborhood filtered through the window, a dog barking, cicadas buzzing their summer tune, while inside her heart replayed the painful echoes of earlier that evening. Mia. Music is just a hobby. Her mother, Sophia, had sighed as she stirred dinner on the stove. You need to focus on studies. Think about your future. Those words sliced through her, each syllable sharp and unyielding, leaving Mia feeling small and disheartened. Her father nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed on the newspaper, as if the reality of her dreams could simply be ignored. To them, music was just a distraction, a frivolous pursuit not worthy of attention. Back in her room, Mia lifted her guitar, its familiar weight offering a small comfort. This instrument, a gift from her brother Carlos, held the melodies she wished to share with the world. She ran her fingers over the strings, feeling the bittersweet swell of hope mixed with fear. In a moment of determination, she knew she had to reach out. She grabbed a piece of paper and poured her heart into a letter to George Strait, the country star she idolized. Words flowed as she described her dreams, her longing, and the suffocating weight of her family's expectations. "Dear Mr. Strait," she began, her heart racing, "I know I'm just a kid, but I feel music calling to me in a way I can't explain. I dream of writing songs, but my family doesn't understand." Once her thoughts were captured on the page, she sealed the envelope, her hands trembling. Doubts crept in. Would he even read it? Did her words mean anything to someone like him? Climbing the stairs back to her room, she paused outside Carlos's door, where he strummed an upbeat tune. That familiarity sparked a bittersweet longing in her heart. She wished to share her dreams with him, but felt too vulnerable. As night fell, she lay down, enveloped in darkness. Questions flooded her mind. Would she ever find a way to let her voice be heard? With the letter tucked safely in her pocket, she closed her eyes, clinging to the hope that somewhere, someone might recognize her passion, a flicker of courage that could ignite her dreams. No matter the risk, Mia knew she had to try, for the music in her heart yearned to break free. In the quiet corners of her mind, memories of Mia's childhood danced like fireflies on a warm summer evening. Music had always been a constant companion, weaving its way into the tapestry of her life. She could still feel the warmth of her father's arms as he spun her around the room to the sound of old country records, the bass notes thumping in time with her little heart. It was those moments that first ignited her love for music. The faint notes of a guitar echoed softly from her brother Carlos's room, tugging at the strings of nostalgia within her. She could almost picture the scene. Carlos, his brow wrinkled in concentration, strumming his well-loved guitar, the same one they had discovered together in a garage sale long ago. Their fingers had danced along the fretboard, discovering notes and melodies that seemed to emerge from nowhere, joining the early evening air with laughter and excitement. One particular evening came rushing back, a family gathering where the living room was filled with relatives, the scent of tamales wafting from the kitchen. Mia had been perched on the edge of the couch, cradling her first guitar, a gift from her brother for her 7th birthday. Carlos had turned to her with an encouraging smile. "Go on, Mia," he'd said, his voice a gentle nudge. "Show them what you can do." With her heart pounding fiercely in her chest, she had played a simple melody. The room grew silent, laughter fading into rapt attention. She remembered glancing up to see her mother's eyes wide with surprise, and for a fleeting moment, the applause that followed wrapped around her like a warm blanket. But in the days that followed, as the reality of everyday life set back in, so did the disapproval. "You can't waste your time on music," Sophia had insisted, her face lined with concern. "You have school, and we need to be practical. Music is just a distraction." Mia pressed her palms against her eyes, willing away the memories. She felt hollow, the weight of unfulfilled dreams pressing down on her shoulders. The expectations that had plagued her since childhood echoed louder now, drowning out any hope that had once flickered in her heart. The next morning, Mia awoke to the sunlight streaming through her window, illuminating dust particles that danced in the air like her dreams. She sat up, brushing her hair back, determination bubbling within her as she recalled George Strait's songs that had sung her through lonely nights. The lyrics, like balm to her soul, had voiced everything her heart sought to express. With a warm sunbeam bathing her room, Mia decided it was time to reclaim her connection to music. She slipped on a pair of sneakers and headed outside, greeted by the familiar scents of blooming wildflowers and freshly cut grass. The local park, a short walk from her home, was her haven. It was there she could find peace and inspiration, a rare escape from the weight of her family's expectations. As she approached the park, she found a shaded bench beneath a sprawling oak tree, its branches swaying gently in the summer breeze. Mia took out her guitar, its polished wood catching the sunlight, and with a deep breath, she began to strum softly, welcoming the familiar vibrations. The notes flowed easily, circling through her like whispers of encouragement from the past. She played freely, losing herself to a melody that rose from her soul, channeling her feelings into the strings beneath her fingers. Each note echoed her longing, her solitude, and the desire for acceptance. Suddenly, the sound of applause startled her, breaking her concentration. She looked up, her cheeks flushing with surprise. A small handful of children stood a few feet away, their eyes wide with wonder. "Can you play more?" one of them called out, a little girl with tangled hair and a toothy grin. Mia felt her heart race, a mix of shyness and warmth flooding through her. She nodded slowly, a smile creeping across her face. "Sure, what song do you want to hear?" "Something happy!" shouted a boy with bright red shoes bouncing on his heels. With their eager faces encouraging her, Mia began strumming a cheerful tune, an old country song she had learned with Carlos a few weeks ago. The children clapped along, their laughter rising with the melody, transforming the park into a tiny concert of joy. For the first time in a long while, Mia felt an exhilarating wave of happiness wash over her. The shared connection between the music and the children was a light, illuminating her once dark corners. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in warm golds and soft purples, Mia knew this peaceful moment was temporary, but precious. Before long, the friends came over to introduce themselves and share their own dreams, each animated by the music. The little girl confessed she wanted to be a dancer, and the boy with the red shoes talked about drawing superheroes. Mia couldn't help but admire their unrestrained enthusiasm, a trait she longed to reclaim. As night began to settle in, the kids waved goodbye, leaving her with a sense of hopefulness she hadn't felt in ages. With her guitar resting against her knee, Mia thought about how all those voices, so different yet unified, had breathed life into her passion. She headed home, her heart full with possibility. In that moment, she realized that maybe her voice could inspire a few others too. With each step, she contemplated how her dreams might not be as unreachable as they once seemed. Perhaps she could find a way to weave her music into the fabric of her family's life. If only she could show them its worth. If only they could understand. The road ahead was uncertain, but tonight, for the first time, Mia turned her face toward the stars and dared to believe in the possibility of her dreams. Days morphed into weeks, and the fleeting joy Mia experienced at the park began to feel like a distant memory overshadowed by the weight of her family's expectations. Each day brought with it reminders of the responsibilities she carried. Schoolwork piled high, and her dreams of music faded further into the background. The once comforting notes of her guitar felt like whispers in the dark, calling out for attention that she couldn't give. The din of dinner conversations filled the house, but in her heart, Mia felt a haunting silence. "Mia, your grades are slipping," her mother Sophia said as she cleared the table. "You need to focus on your studies. This is not the time to think about music." Mia's gaze dropped to her plate. "I know, Mom. I'm trying," she murmured, the familiar pang of disappointment tightening around her heart. Her father sat at the head of the table, nodding solemnly in agreement, the unyielding reality of her life sinking deeper into her soul. Music now felt like a dream, reserved for a different life, one where her talents could flourish without judgment. After dinner, Mia retreated to her sanctuary, her room where she could find solace in the melodies that danced in her heart. The guitar, which had once been a gift of freedom and joy from Carlos, now sat quietly in the corner, collecting dust, reminding her of the dreams she hadn't chased. Carlos knocked softly and entered, noticing the somber air around her. "Hey, what's going on?" he asked, a hint of concern lacing his voice. Mia sighed, glancing up at him. "I just feel trapped. It's like I can't breathe with everyone pushing me in a direction that isn't mine." Her voice quivered as the sadness seeped through her defenses. Carlos leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "You need to talk to them. They don't see how much music means to you," he encouraged. "You can't keep hiding this part of yourself. You're talented, Mia. You just need to show them." "What if they don't understand?" she asked, fear pooling in the pit of her stomach. "What if it's not enough for them?" "There's only one way to find out," he said earnestly. "Play for them. Let them hear your heart." Taking a deep breath, she realized it was time to confront her fears, time to let the music flow again. Over the next few days, she practiced quietly in her room, letting the sounds envelop her like an old friend. Longing surged within her with each strum, but doubt still echoed violently in the back of her mind. The night came when she set her heart to share. The house was eerily quiet, a whispered tension filling the air as she gathered her courage. With the family away for the evening, Mia decided to try out her new song, a melody bursting with emotion and longing that reflected her struggles and hopes. As she played, the notes filled the living room, weaving a tale of dreams and determination. But just as she seemed lost in the music, she was startled by the sudden presence of her mother, standing quietly in the doorway. "Mia," Sophia whispered, her eyes wide with surprise. "I didn't know you played." Mia froze, fear coursing through her veins, but something within her urged her to continue. I thought you wouldn't want to hear it," she finally admitted, vulnerability edging into her tone. "Why would you think that?" Her mother stepped in, drawn closer by the haunting melody. "You should have told me. This is beautiful." Mia's heart raced at the acknowledgement, emotions swirling within her. "I didn't want to disappoint you," she confessed, the shame of hiding her passion bubbling up. "Disappoint? Mia, you could never do that," Sophia said, warmth flooding her voice. "This is part of who you are. I want to understand what matters to you." Feeling a rush of warmth flood through her, Mia returned to her guitar, strumming the chords again with newfound energy. As she sang, the tension laced in the room unraveled slowly, transforming into a bond stitched tighter with every note. When she finished playing, the silence that enveloped them was thick with understanding. Sophia's gaze sparkled with pride, and for the first time, Mia's heart felt unfettered. "Can you teach me some of your songs?" Sophia asked, a hopeful smile forming on her lips. Mia smiled back, nodding eagerly. "I'd love that." That night, as Mia helped her mother learn to play a simple tune, the house hummed with laughter and shared joy. It was a moment completely untouched by the outside world, a pure communion between mother and daughter that solidified their connection. As the days turned into weeks, Mia's fears slowly began to dissolve, replaced by a chorus of support from her family. Together they shared musical evenings filled with laughter, creating a tapestry woven from their individual dreams, a tapestry that accepted music at its core. Under the gaze of the evening stars, Mia lay in bed remembering all that had transpired. Hope hadn't just crept back into her heart, it had surged in with beautiful clarity. The path ahead remained uncertain, but she now knew she wouldn't walk it alone. With faith ignited in her heart, she dared to believe. Her dreams could unfold, and her voice would finally be heard, resonating within the hearts of those she loved the most. Mia woke to the soft light of a Saturday morning, sunlight pouring through her window and bathing her room in a warm glow. The air felt fresh, filled with the anticipation of a new beginning. Today marked the launching of her dreams. She could feel the vibrant energy pulsating within her. After breakfast, she joined her mother, Sophia, in the living room. The familiar space was filled with laughter and echoing memories. Musicale's evenings spent bonding over songs were now reborn. As Sophia tuned her guitar, her fingers fumbled nervously over the strings. "How do I sound?" she asked, a mix of excitement and apprehension in her voice. "Pretty good. Just keep your thumb behind the neck for a solid grip," Mia replied, pride swelling inside her as she watched her mother immerse herself in the music they both loved. The two dove into their practice, and with each chord struck, Mia felt the fear that had once gripped her twist into something beautiful. "This song is about finding your way no matter the obstacles," she shared as she began strumming a series of heartfelt notes. Their bonding was palpable, each beat further entwining their hearts and dreams. By the afternoon, a brilliant idea struck Mia like a bolt of lightning. "Mom, let's have a small get-together. Just friends and family. I could play, and you could join." Hope fluttered in her chest. Sophia's eyes sparkled with joy as she agreed. "That's a fantastic idea. Let's make a day of it. Invite the neighbors, make some food, celebrate your passion together." As they planned, the excitement buzzed around them like a current. They decorated the backyard with twinkling fairy lights, the vibrant colors representing every dream woven into one glorious celebration. It felt reminiscent of the lively gatherings of Mia's childhood, a cherished memory rooted deep within her heart. The days rolled by, a whirlwind of preparation, Mia's nerves mixed with anticipation. What if no one enjoyed her music? Yet the memory of the children in the park reminded her of the joy music brought. Perhaps this gathering was a chance to express her true self. She longed to share that vibrant energy with others. Her family could finally witness the spark of her spirit. On the night of the gathering, the backyard glowed warmly. Chairs arranged in a casual crescent around a small stage Mia had decorated with flowers. Carlos arrived, carrying a tray of cookies and an infectious grin. "Tonight is going to be epic," he exclaimed, jumping into the festivities. The atmosphere buzzed with chatter and laughter as friends and family began to gather. Mia's heart raced, a mix of nerves and excitement churning within her. She looked to her mum, who stood beside her, a reassuring hand steadying her. "Just breathe, you've got this," Sophia said, sweet confidence in her voice. When it was finally time to play, Mia stepped forward to face the eager audience. "Thank you all for being here today. It means so much," she said, her voice steadying with the warmth of familiar faces surrounding her. As her fingers danced across the strings, the music unfolded, spilling stories of hope and resilience. The room seemed to fade away, the notes enveloping her in a cocoon of belonging. Each song ignited laughter and applause, and the energy in the air became electric. With every performance, Mia found strength in her voice, and she noticed her mother joining in, harmonizing softly, a sweet melody threading through the night. The connection felt profound. Music transformed the atmosphere into something sacred, stitching hearts tighter together. When she played her final song, a moment of silence washed over the gathering. Then cheers erupted, a thunderous applause echoing in the night. Carlos was the first to jump up, hollering, "You rocked it, Mia! You're a superstar!" Amidst the celebration, Mia caught sight of her mother, tears glistening in her eyes. "I'm so proud of you," Sophia whispered, embracing her tightly. In that moment, the bond between them evolved, rich with love and understanding, the culmination of their shared journey. As the night unfolded under a blanket of stars, joy enveloped them as conversations flowed and laughter echoed around the outdoor space. Each person connected through stories, comfort, and warmth, transforming an ordinary evening into an enchanted tapestry of music and kinship. As the last guests departed, Mia reflected on how music had been the lifeblood of this gathering. Sitting with Carlos, looking up at the luminous string lights, she felt elation mixing with gratitude. "That was incredible," she said, breathless with happiness. "You nailed it. And your mum, wow, who knew she could sing like that?" he replied, laughter bubbling between them. Mia nodded, reflecting on how sharing her dreams had created ripples of joy, not only in her life but in the lives of those around her. The worries that once cornered her now felt minuscule, overshadowed by the vibrant beauty of community. As the darkness deepened, Mia felt emboldened. She realized that what had unfurled that night was larger than her dreams. It was the togetherness forged in vulnerability. She had learned that sharing her music could ignite a spark not just within herself, but also connect her family and friends in ways she had never imagined. With renewed faith, she understood her passion could flourish. The future lay open before her, and it was bursting with potential. For Mia, the road ahead was no longer a solitary journey. Instead, it was a shared pursuit, a bright path illuminated by music, love, and laughter. As she lay in bed that night, she turned her gaze to the stars, her heart swelling with hope and inspiration. Mia understood that she had taken the first steps on a journey that would lead her to discover even more, a journey where she would sing louder, dream bigger, and never shy away from sharing her true self. Mia's newfound confidence radiated within her, yet beneath that vibrant surface, a creeping anxiety began to take hold. As summer faded and school resumed, the familiar chorus of classmates discussing college plans filled the air. Everybody seemed to have a roadmap to their futures, while Mia felt lost amidst the chaos, unsure of her path. The bustling hallways echoed with laughter and excitement, but Mia found herself grappling with the weight of expectations. Conversations around her buzzed with, "What will you major in and have you applied yet?" Questions about her future opened a chasm of doubt, and even her joy for music was at risk of being overshadowed by the impending reality of graduating high school. One afternoon in the cafeteria, Mia slumped at the table, her usual laughter evading her. Carlos nudged her. "Hey, what's going on? You seem out of it." Mia sighed, glancing at her uneaten lunch. Everyone's talking about college, and I feel like I don't even want to go." The admission felt like air escaping from a deflated balloon. "What do you want to do?" Carlos asked, his expression encouraging. Mia hesitated, wrapping her fingers around the edges of her tray. "I want to write and perform music, but what if it's just a dream? What if it doesn't pay the bills?" "Just because it's uncertain doesn't mean it should be discarded," he replied gently. "You've got to talk to your family about it." Her heart fluttered with anxiety. The idea of revealing her true desires to her parents felt daunting. Would they understand? Would they dismiss her aspirations once again? That evening, she attempted to find solace in her music, but everything felt heavier. The lyrics that once flowed freely now felt trapped within her, entangled in self-doubt. Frustration gripped her. She strummed the guitar, but all she could feel was a cacophony of emotions. Weeks passed, yet the storm brewing inside never faded. Sophia gathered the family for a meeting one night, and Mia felt a familiar unease creeping back. As they settled around the dinner table, her father cleared his throat, ready to steer the conversation. "Mia, we wanted to discuss your plans for this year," he began, his tone serious. "It's time to focus on your future." Mia's heartbeat quickened. "I know, Dad, but—" "Mia, we feel it's critical for you to prioritize your studies," Sophia interjected, concern etched across her brow. "You have so much potential." Swallowing her frustration, Mia replied, "But I want to pursue music." The words tumbled out, fueled by a surge of desperation. Her parents exchanged tight-lipped glances, filled with unspoken worry. "Music is a wonderful hobby, but it isn't a sustainable career," her father said softly but firmly. Emotion gripped Mia. "But it's who I am. You don't understand how much it means to me." A wave of anger washed over her, tinged with sadness. "We want the best for you, Mia. Life is not easy," her father continued. "You need to think about what will provide security." Each word cut deep, igniting the pain she had tried to hide. "But what if I fail to follow my passion? I'll just end up regretting it." The silence that followed felt like a chasm opening between them. Mia couldn't hold back her tears. It felt as if she was losing the battle for herself. She fled to her room, slamming the door, allowing herself to crumble amid a torrent of emotions: hurt, anger, frustration. Days turned into a blur as she withdrew further into herself, finding comfort only in her music. She poured her heart into songwriting, crafting lyrics that echoed her struggles, a reflection of her turmoil and hope intertwined. With every note, she captured the longing to be understood. Carlos remained her steadfast ally, often visiting with snacks and support, urging her to confront her feelings. "You have to be honest with them, Mia," he pressed. "You deserve to be heard." But the fear of rejection stifled her resolve. What if they couldn't empathize? What if their love for her couldn't encompass her ambitions? After much contemplation and emotional turmoil, Mia decided to face her battles anew. One evening, she summoned the courage to address her parents again. Gathering at the kitchen table, she took a deep breath. The air was thick with apprehension. "Mom, Dad, can we talk?" Her voice wavered but held a firm resolve. They nodded, their faces lined with curiosity and concern. "I've thought about everything you said," Mia began, heart pounding. "But music isn't just a hobby for me. It's something I need to pursue." Her father sighed, ready to interject, but she pressed on. "I understand your worries truly, but I need to try. It's important to me." "Mia," her mother spoke softly, "we want you to be happy. Music is wonderful, but let me express myself. I want a chance to see where this leads," she interrupted, her voice growing stronger. "I'll keep my responsibilities in check, I promise. Just let me follow my dream." Silence enveloped the table as the weight of her words hung in the air. It felt like a gamble, and her heart raced in fear of the answer. Finally, her father spoke, his tone softer. "You've always had talent, Mia. We worry because we care. But if this is what you truly want—" Mia nodded fervently. "I'm ready to work hard. Just support me in this, please." Sophia reached out, her hand resting on Mia's. "Okay, honey, we want you to pursue your passion, but you need to balance your life with your dreams." Relief rushed through Mia like a cool breeze. "Thank you," she whispered, tears of gratitude spilling down her cheeks. The conversation marked a pivotal shift. No longer was she drowning in self-doubt. Instead, Mia felt the dawn of hope. She realized she had the strength to assert her truth and that her passion was worth fighting for. With renewed clarity, she picked up her guitar once more, knowing she had allies in her journey. Each strum became a vibrant affirmation of who she was and who she could become. A musician defined by her dreams, not confined by limitations. As she composed new melodies that echoed her spirit, she understood that this journey was only beginning. Mia stood on the precipice of a new chapter, one where her dreams of music were not merely aspirations, but burning realities. In the days following her heartfelt conversation with her parents, she devoted herself to honing her craft. She practiced tirelessly, words pouring out like a river, chorus after chorus taking shape under her fingertips. The melodies danced around her, invigorating and liberating, each note a step closer to her true self. Encouraged by her family's support, Mia began performing at local open mics, an exhilarating leap into a new world. Her first night at the Blue Note Cafe, a cozy spot nestled at the end of a street lined with twinkling fairy lights, sparked a mixture of nerves and excitement. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, the hum of conversations weaving through the air like a comforting blanket. As she prepared backstage, Carlos appeared, his excitement palpable. "You're going to blow them away," he enthused, giving her shoulder a reassuring squeeze. Mia giggled nervously, a smile breaking through her trepidation. "What if I stumble? Then you stumble, but you get right back up. Just remember, you're not alone," he replied, his confidence washing over her like a warm tide. With her guitar slung over her shoulder, Mia stepped onto the small stage. The spotlight illuminated her, casting her in a warm glow. She took a deep breath, scanning the audience. Familiar faces mingled with strangers, all waiting to hear her story. As she began to play her first song, the gentle strum of her guitar felt both empowering and grounding. The crowd fell silent, hanging on her every word. Each lyric was a fragment of her truth, and as she poured her heart out, vulnerability transformed into strength. With each note lifted into the air, Mia shared not just music, but a piece of her soul. The energy in the room shifted. She could feel it ripple through the crowd, a mingling of empathy and connection. By the time she strummed the final chord, the audience erupted into applause, a thunderous wave of affirmation washing over her. She beamed, tears of joy brimming in her eyes, a feeling of triumph flooding her spirit. In the weeks that followed, Mia made a name for herself in the local music scene. With every performance, she felt the spark igniting inside her, illuminating the path ahead. This new life breathed magic into her music, and the passion she shared resonated deeply with those who listened. The positive feedback fueled her, igniting a fire within her to even delve deeper into her art. As October approached, she received an invitation to perform at the annual Harvest Festival, a much-loved event in the community. It was a significant opportunity, one that could elevate her budding career. The thought of standing before a larger crowd both thrilled and terrified her, but she couldn't resist the call of the stage. Weeks blurred into days as Mia prepared for the biggest performance of her life. Together with her family and Carlos, she chose a lineup of songs that showcased her growth, not just as an artist, but as a person. Her heart raced at the thought of sharing her journey with a larger audience. On the day of the festival, the ambiance was electric. Families meandered between booths, laughter and music mingling in the crisp autumn air. The aroma of roasted corn and pumpkin spice filled the grounds. Mia's excitement morphed into a tangible energy as she stepped onto the stage, feeling the warmth of the sun embrace her. A sea of familiar faces greeted her, a mixture of friends, family, and community members, all there to support her. As she settled into her performance, she gazed out at them, feeling the love emanate from their smiles. This was not just her moment, it was theirs too. With each strum, she wove her narrative of hope, tenacity, and triumph. The vibrant colors of the festival painted a picturesque backdrop to her songs, the connection with her audience deepening. Murmurs of appreciation echoed back to her, amplifying her courage, setting every chord ablaze with passion. By the time she reached the final song, her heart raced at the culmination of her journey. This was a celebration not only of her musical pursuit, but of her growth and resilience. With each lyric, she encouraged others to pursue their own passions, to break through their fears, echoing the lessons she learned while traversing her path. As she struck the last chord, the crowd erupted in applause, the sound resonating deep within her. Cheers and whistles filled the air, their encouragement washing over her like a warm embrace. In that moment, she realized the impact she could have, not just through music, but through the very act of being her authentic self. Later, as Mia stepped off the stage, she was met with hugs and enthusiastic voices. Carlos beamed, his eyes shining with pride. "You were amazing. I knew you could do it." Her parents, standing just a few steps behind, looked at her with tears of joy glistening in their eyes. Sophia stepped forward, pulling Mia into a tight embrace. "You were incredible, darling." Mia's heart swelled with gratitude. "Thank you for believing in me. This means more than I can say." As night fell and the festival lights twinkled like stars, Mia felt a sense of completeness cascading over her. She had taken strides beyond her fears, transcending limitations and nourishing her passion. Miles from the girl who once hesitated, she now understood the power of her voice. This was her limitless canvas, and she would paint it vividly. In the coming days, news of her performance circulated through town, breathing life into her dreams. Opportunities unfurled, and as she continued sharing her music, Mia stood at the center of her metamorphosis, a journey brimming with growth, resilience, and triumph. She was ready to face whatever lay ahead, her heart singing loudly, unapologetically free. Mia awoke the morning after the harvest festival, the sun streaming through her window, bringing warmth to her heart. A sense of clarity illuminated her mind. The vibrant energy from the night before was now a foundation upon which to build her dreams. With determination, she grabbed her guitar and headed to the kitchen, where her parents were sipping coffee. "What's the plan for today, superstar?" her father teased, his eyes gleaming with pride. "I want to start working on an EP," she declared, excitement bubbling within her. "I need to capture all the stories I've been living, especially about finding the courage to be myself." Her mother leaned forward, intrigued. "An EP sounds like a fantastic idea. Do you have songs in mind?" "Yes, I want to explore themes of truth, vulnerability, and passion," Mia replied, her enthusiasm spilling over. Discussions flowed effortlessly as they brainstormed ideas together, strengthening their bond and validating her artistic pursuits. Later, Mia decided to visit the Blue Note Cafe to talk with Lily, the owner, about securing a regular performance slot. As she entered, familiar notes lingered in the air, wrapping her in warmth. Mia approached Lily, her heart racing yet steady. "Hi, Lily. I'd love to perform here regularly if possible." Lily's face lit up with excitement. "Mia, I'm already hearing wonderful things about you. How often were you thinking?" "Maybe every 2 weeks," Mia responded, a spark igniting in her voice. "Absolutely. Let's make it happen," Lily exclaimed. Plans unfolded for promotional flyers and upcoming performances, solidifying Mia's role in the local music scene, which invigorated her spirit. As the days flowed into weeks, Mia balanced her schoolwork with rehearsals at the cafe, pouring her heart into her music. She wrote new songs, each lyric a testament to her growth and resilience. Her community rallied around her. Friends attended her shows, cheering her on and giving heartfelt feedback. Carlos remained her steadfast friend, often joining her for late-night songwriting sessions. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, Mia turned to him. "Thank you for supporting me. I wouldn't be here without you." "Seeing you shine is my favorite part of each day," he replied. "You've got something special, Mia, and the world needs to hear it." As her first official EP release party approached, Mia's emotions churned, a delightful mix of excitement and apprehension. Friends and family gathered in the cozy venue, the atmosphere buzzing. Every face reflected love and belief in her talent. With a deep breath, Mia stepped onto the stage, the spotlight capturing her. "Thank you all for coming tonight. This EP represents my journey, my struggles, my triumphs and dreams." When she began to play, her voice resonated with authenticity, every note an expression of her heart. The energy shifted, the audience swayed with her, their connection palpable. With each song, Mia painted her story, inviting everyone to join her in the celebration of their own dreams. As the final notes lingered in the air, applause erupted, a beautiful wave of encouragement enveloping her. At that moment, She understood the impact of her music. Standing in the warmth of supportive faces, her heart brimmed with gratitude. This wasn't just about her. It was about the community they shared. Stepping off stage, she was embraced by loved ones. Carlos's eyes shone with pride. "You were incredible. I knew you could do it." Mia's parents beamed, tears of joy shimmering in their eyes. "Thank you for believing in me," she whispered, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. As she soaked in the joy of her performance and the love that surrounded her, Mia realized she was just beginning. This was a new beginning, not only for her music, but for all the paths she would venture down. With her heart set on singing her truth, she embraced the limitless possibilities ahead, ready to share her art unapologetically. Her dreams were no longer a distant pursuit. They were unfolding before her, vibrant and alive. With renewed zest, she knew she could create a future filled with melody, connection, and boundless joy. Feel free to request further adjustments or additional elements.